What's up? Welcome back. I'm on a roll. I want to talk some more. Can anybody ever really feel safe in America? That's the question. And that's the topic for this video. I don't know if I've ever felt safe in America. As a matter of fact, ever since I was young, I've had some bad things happen to me. Growing up in the city, it was kind of rough. There's a lot of crazy people and violent people and violent things that happen. I was jumped and beat up a few times as a kid. And I've had guns pulled on me multiple times, been shot at, and randomly, for no reason, apparently for some weird reason, I don't know, I was just riding a bike, and there's just gunshots, people shooting, and then, I'm thinking back how crazy and how dangerous the place I lived was. There was a lot of crazy things that happened, like getting into fights, people fighting a lot, and then people trying to rob you constantly. People were trying to rob people constantly. And then, I've traveled to a lot of different cities, and I can see how it's not that much better, how a lot of that stuff happens there too, how dangerous it is in a lot of different cities, and how more dangerous it's become over time too. You could go, you can tell by the school shootings and the attacks on random people because of the way they look, or attacks on people because of road rage, arguments, just random violence everywhere you go. And it seems like it's ingrained in our culture to be violent and to cause mayhem, to, I guess, to be around chaos. People think, they have to be chaotic, to lash out, to fight, to argue, to act like animals constantly. And I can understand how people need to be assertive and aggressive to get people to listen. But our country has become more and more dangerous, harder to live in. I've lived in dangerous places most of my life, and not by choice. It's almost like if you had enough money, you would move away, or that's the dream of everybody in the hood, is to get enough money to move far away. That seems like the biggest, most important thing on your mind when you're in those places, is to get enough money to leave and never come back. But where can you go that's safe, in America? Where is it that it is that safe now? It's almost like most of the places have become overrun by, gangs and drugs and drug addicts and people that are relatively violent and chaotic, and so there's not a lot of places you can go. It's relatively in the city. Like, no matter if you're near the cities and the developed areas, is where you want to stay away from places with. I try to avoid places with liquor stores. That's a big red flag for a bad neighborhood. If they have a liquor store, I want to say trailer park, but I don't know. Maybe that could be different different places. But okay, liquor store is a big red flag for me. I try to stay far away from liquor stores, because it seems like no matter where I go, liquor stores is where problems happen, and where homeless people are, and alcoholics, and people that are gonna try to rob you or do something to you, beat you up. It's just, you don't put yourself in places that it could happen at. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been trying to do. Remove myself from that environment. But no matter how far I go, you can always see these shady people and these seedy places. So I kind of know how to move a lot better, though, and stay out of those places. But liquor stores is a big one. I try to stay away from areas with liquor stores. And what else would it be? Areas with, dilapidated housing and abandoned buildings and gas stations that just look kind of ghetto. You gotta stay away from those places. And areas with a lot of black people. You don't want to be a white person, the only white person in an area with a bunch of black people. That's where I grew up. In that area. The white boy with a bunch of black people. So yeah, I felt a little bit out of place, but it's all good. I turned out kind of messed up, but anyway. Anybody that grows up in the hood, in a dangerous place with a lot of drug activity and police and liquor stores and crackheads might get into some problems, and granted, I brought some of those problems onto me. I got consumed or involved with drugs for a long time, so I played a part. I should have distanced myself from it a lot sooner, but in America, we have to watch our back constantly. It feels like no matter where you go. And there's countries that you can go to where you don't have to do that. That's what seems crazy, right? That's like a obscure idea or something, a foreign idea. Is that possible? Like, as an American, think about that. Like, because you grow up in this culture of violence, almost like in America. It seems like you have this romanticizing of gangs and violence and criminality or criminal behavior. People romanticize that because they're looking at it from the outside. And I was around that for a long time, criminal activity, and I was in incarcerated, so I was in, I wasn't around it a lot, and I seen what it was like to be inside, like the belly of the beast. When anything could pop off and anything could happen, you don't really have a choice. And so when you're incarcerated, you don't have a choice. You just gotta accept it and fight if you have to fight, and you're afraid, but you have to deal with it. I mean, I had a couple little incidents that could have turned pretty ugly. When I look back, I was like, whoa, I was in some shady places and around some really dark people, and whoa, they could have went sideways real fast because those were real dangerous people. I thought I can hold my own a little bit, but these people, were twice my. People are twice your size, and they're not getting out. They got nothing to lose. It can go bad, and it's like you're around a ton of those people. So that's a place you have to watch your back, constantly. And then America's kind of like that. It's like a prison. You're trapped in with all these people that are kind of like inmates. There's a high percentage of people that have the tendency for violence, and you have to gauge that. You have to watch your step. You have to be aware of your surroundings, no matter where you go. In America too, you have to look at it. You have to be strategic in how you move. I didn't realize how many people are like shady. There's a lot of shady people and a lot of sketchy places you can end up. You have to be careful where you go. But yeah, America is like that. You have to watch your back. There's countries where you don't have to watch your back, and that's kind of like where I want to go. I have a dream. I think every American, deep down, subconsciously, they want that. But we can't have it because of gang culture, maybe. It's infiltrated like the whole fabric of our system. Not only gang culture, but criminal culture. So, and violence, and GTA, the video game, kind of like romanticizes it, and then kids, they look up to these people like they're tough guys, and to be tough, you gotta do all these crimes and stuff, and so that romanticizes it more too. When people get on drugs, they don't care. I think the drug culture has, how would you say, the drug culture has perpetuated it, maybe. So people are willing to do crazy shit now, and it's like for nothing, almost just for street cred, and they're throwing their lives away, and over a drug too, like over a small hit of drugs or something. It's not until we can give up that, I think, until we can give up trying to numb the pain, or give up the idea of doing drugs and thinking it's gonna help. Like, I think drugs has changed the way our society behaves, to an extent that doesn't help anything, but until we can embrace living without drugs in a healthier future, things won't change. Until we can strive to be like other countries that don't embrace drug use as much, or embrace the idea of being intoxicated as much, to embrace the idea of being sober is better than being intoxicated, because we also have alcohol. We've been ingrained with alcohol and drugs like for years, for the past century. Like, it's a part of our culture to be an alcoholic or drink and then or do drugs because of the hippie movement. But so we move away from that and realize that life is way better without drugs and alcohol. America won't change until we become like Japan or something, and our culture is stronger than drugs and alcohol. Until our moral beliefs are stronger than being intoxicated. And I think that's what separates Japan. Is like they care more about a healthy culture than being intoxicated. They know that's just intoxication. It's not gonna help them rise above. It's not gonna help everybody. Like, I think Japan has more respect for everybody and has more honor for their country, and that's why they don't want to disrespect the honor of their country and their people by letting drugs take over, or letting alcohol take over, to feel a little better about life. I don't know if I explained that right, but it has a lot to do with that. Our society is more unhealthy because of drugs and alcohol. But Japan has alcohol. I don't think they like drugs at all. They don't want drugs there. I think it's more severe there or something. But I think we need to take a little hint from them, or a little knowledge from them in that aspect, to change the whole culture here, become more like Japan, because it's safe there. Like, they have another thing that's really attractive there. Like, it's really safe, and it's really, their drug culture is none. Like, you don't hear about people shipping tons of drugs there and trying to sell it. It's just Americans have an infatuation with being intoxicated and doing drugs for some reason. But if you think about it, how much has it really helped society? How much has it really helped any society? And that's how I look at it. Like, for a long time, in history, drugs haven't really done too much to help people. And they've destroyed economies and whole countries. It could destroy America with the way it's going. So that's another reason it's unsafe here. It's part of why it's unsafe. But until our culture starts to embrace more meaningful and honorable and moral, ethical ideas, and moves away from all the trivial, petty stuff, that immature stuff that people perpetuate on our society through rap and music and stuff like that, things will not change. People romanticize selling drugs and killing and robbing, but like poisoning your people? Do you like, is that good for you to hurt people? Is it good for you to hurt your own people in your own country? I think a lot of countries that are safe to live in look at things more deeply, and we need to be more like them. So it's hard to feel safe in our country. You gotta watch your back. And I travel all over. I go to, truck stops all over country and see shady people everywhere. So I'm never that safe here. Like, I don't never feel that safe either. I'm always watching my back. And it's funny because I've always done that since I was young. It's like, you gotta watch your back. It's dangerous. People could try to rob you, to take a little bit of money or beat you up. But I was just thinking about it. Like, it's not right. Like, it's can't we have some more order and more, more safer environment? But America's like the hood. You just want to get a bunch of money and go far away, or get a bunch of money and go to the country, but you'll still be in America. It's almost like no matter how far away you move, people could stalk and find you and plot to hurt you. So it's like, until you leave America, you're not really safe. And then when you get to the other country, you could be safe. You could be safe if you go to the right country, the right place. It's possible to be and not have to worry about watching your back. That's a crazy idea to me. Like, I can't fully grasp it, but I'm pretty sure it's possible because I've heard about it. And I live in America, where it's it's supposed to be relatively safe. And there is a lot of, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of places that are super duper safe, that are super duper nice. And I've been to them. I've been to a few of them, but there's still, some shady people that would want to hurt you in a lot of places here. But there isn't people like that everywhere like that. The people here, I don't know, they're spiteful, antagonistic, and kind of have a need for violence. Some people have a need for violence here. It seems like they're more apt to it. So it's funny. It's funny. No matter where you go, you could run into problems. So, but there is a lot of good places. I can't lie. There is some good, safe, really safe places in America. And I might have to go there, and I might go to another country just because I want to see what it's like to be able to live without worrying about getting jumped or beat up and robbed. It's crazy how I said that, because I didn't realize how many dangerous things I've been through. I've been through a lot. I fought a lot of people and gotten I wouldn't say a lot, but I've gotten to a few fights. Been through some crazy stuff, so be careful out there. Things are getting crazy, too heated, and people are shooting people like crazy, and with the riots and the immigration thing, it's getting kind of crazy out there, so be careful. That's gonna be it for this one. See you in the next one.